it's Julie. I am outside today. It's a beautiful fall day. It's too nice not to train outside. And I am with Ms. Daphne. She's behind me, completely out of command, just on the long line, right? So the only rule is just don't run away. Don't let the line get tight. Don't start barking. Don't drag me anywhere. But otherwise, she's free to do what she wants. She's not in command, all right? I love that she's choosing to follow me, right? It's a very loose follow. And what I brought her out here to do is just continue working on the basics. As simple as that may sound, a recall and a stay. Those are the two main things that we work on in our program, because if the recall and the stay is not solid, everything else will feel wonky. Recall is getting the dog to you. That turns into a heel if you keep moving. And of course, stay is sit down or place, or maybe even just stay where you are. I don't even care if you sit her down, just stay where you are. Most dogs, and I mean nearly 100% of dogs on drop-off day, they do not stay. Their owners say stay, or we even try to say stay on day one, and literally a half a second later, they're up and constantly at the end of the leash. They just can't seem to hold a stay. And from what I've seen is even after we've taught a couple days worth of the basics, telling a dog to stay and walking away is very hard for them, even though it's such a simple concept. They always want to follow you, or they always want to go run after something they want, or run away from something they might be scared of. So what I'm doing with Miss Daphne is just making sure her stay is solid and her recall is solid with me out here. All right, so far she's done amazing out of command, right? On the 30-foot long line, just chilling with me, not getting too crazy. And I'll do some work, and at the end, I'll show you what we've learned. Okay, let's talk about that recall. Recall is the command for come. So getting a dog from point A to point B, which is at your feet, and having them stay. Very simple concept, but a lot of dogs struggle with it. So I'm gonna give my recall command, which is the word come. I'm also gonna tap my tone button, which beeps by her ear. I'm gonna praise her as she's on her way, and she sits her down somewhere at my feet. Seems really simple, but a lot of dogs struggle with it. Daphne, good. She passes step one. When I say her name, I don't want her to start coming to me, because I might just want to say, good girl, stay where you are. Okay, so the name just means, yes, Julie? Come. Good girl. Good job. She comes and she sits right in front of me and she gets her praise. Good girl. Now here's where a lot of dogs struggle. The stay and the walk away. They always want to follow you. They just cannot seem to find that impulse control or hear the word that you're saying, which is stay, and wait for further instruction. Okay, so let's try it. Stay. Good girl. She lays down. That's the coping skill we've taught her, because it was so hard for her. When we would say stay and walk away, she would almost always want to follow us. She's a dog who wants to be near her people at all times. No. Stay. So N-O paired with a tap on the collar. Stay. The circle around them is really hard. That's why we do it. To proof their stay command. They almost always mess up when you walk behind them because they want to turn around and see where you are. Good girl. She did it. I made the full circle. But yeah, something as simple as telling a dog to stay as you walk away, they can't do it. None of them can do it when they get here. It's a skill that they learn while they're here, and it is so valuable. For a dog to know the difference of when you want them to stay and when you want them to come to you is their entire program. Good girl. Let's try another recall, but this time I'm just gonna use the tone. Good girl. Hi. Perfect position. That's my baby girl. Good job. Stay. Now notice, I'm not trying to keep her successful. I'm not going stay. Stay. Nope. Stay. Stay. Daphne, stay. Stay. Like I see a lot of people doing. I say stay. I give a hand signal and I walk away. Any mistake after that is just going to get N-O and a click on the collar. And that's how she learns. And that's how she becomes solid. And that's how we create dogs who go to restaurant patios, go to places that dogs are allowed and aren't a nuisance, aren't constantly at the end of the leash, aren't constantly barking, whining. They've got that solid foundation of stay means stay, So it's really, that foundation needs to be really good before we move on to more complex things. Good girl. Good girl. Now here's everyone's favorite, the release. If I'm gonna say the break word, it means you're free to do whatever you want. Daphne, no. Good. We're still working on that. And when I say her name, I don't want her to guess. If I start rewarding that, what's gonna happen is every time I say her name, she's going to do a behavior that she thinks I want. So she could start coming to me, she could lay down if she was standing. What I want her name to mean is just look at me and wait. Daphne. Good. So I'll start rewarding when she looks at me after I say her name. Daphne. Good. That was a perfect example. She's distracted by something over there. I said her name. She looks at me and says, yes, Julie, instead of just running over to me. Daphne. Break. Good girl.